Hey Dinarland, this is Dinarland. Highlights from May 6, 2020. Today is Thursday, May 7th, 2020. Hey, from Caparoni, Iran apparently decided to delete four zeros today and introduce the Taman as the new currency. This took parliament approval and is a lop, very similar to what has been discussed with Iraq. This is not an RVRI but a neutral event. We do not want to see Iraq do this. In fact, we have seen several articles in Iraq talk about parliamentary approval. Therefore, we know that is what the CBI is also considering. Parliamentary approval is not needed for traditional monetary policy. Okay, from Mountain Goat. So the prospects of an RV sooner than later are good. I want everyone to know I do not mean that as soon as the government is announced they're going to RV. What do we see now that is different than last week? Number one, Iraq should form their government this week. This should bring a sense of stability and security. Number two, Iranian influence is at an all-time low. This is mandated prior to any reinstatement. Number three, Al-Kazimi promises to open up the corruption files, meaning they could actually finally go after Nouri al-Maliki and his gang of thugs. Number four, Iraq has finally managed to cut off funding to Iran via the currency auctions through sourcing dollars now only via electronic means. This allows transparency and audits of exactly where all the money is going. So they are now abiding by U.S. sanctions on Iran. Number five, oil is on the rise, clocking in Tuesday at about $30 a barrel, and the day is not over yet. Number six, China wants desperately to get their stronghold inside Iraq and invest with their billions of Chinese funds and get their guaranteed oil. They want to do this in 2020, not years down the road. Number seven, coronavirus is at a decline in Iraq as they shut down the borders with Iran and are keeping them shut for now. Number eight, the CBI is already geared up to replace the larger notes with the smaller denominations. This project is huge, and the project to delete the zeros, this will lead us to the reinstatement on Forex as the global rate. We are not going to be allowed to exchange our dinar at the banks unless two things happen. The IQD is reinstated back on the Forex, and B, sanctions are lifted on the currency. Probably will happen at the same time. So sooner than later may mean January 2021, or by some miracle we might see something this summer even. Remember, there is never going to be an ideal time or perfect time when Iraq is going to be a model country. It seems for now that the Finance Committee and the CBI are on the same page for this to occur. For Iraq to go anywhere on the global marketplace, it must have a globally recognized currency. I don't even care what rate they initially come out as, just get the damned rate back on the Forex and let the free market take it from there. Okay, from Jeff. They are not going to vote on the formation of the government until 9 p.m. Right now it's about 4:05 in the country of Iraq. We have roughly another 5 more hours to go. Okay, from Pimpy. Trump's like, you're going to see one hell of a second half of 2020, but we're going to see the best year ever in 2021. It's like he's anticipated being re-elected, and to be quite honest, so am I. So whether this reinstatement is a part of that, and it makes sense to me, and he did say something about a global boom. Why? Free trade, a reinstatement of the rate, an economy kicked because all of the newly created millionaires. Is it possible? Yes. We've been hearing for so long that this is fake. Tell me there's a huge part of you that's not going to gloat once this happens because people doubted you. Okay, from Mark Z, question, so what's the holdup? I don't think there's a holdup. My government sources still tell me not to look for anything before mid-May. They want everything in place by June 1st. I can't change the timing. I know it's coming, and I take great comfort from the fact that banks are stopping lending. So banks are not kicking the can anymore. I take this as a good sign, and I know it's close and it is coming. Okay, Ray Wren, 98 TNT. From news sources, the Speaker of Parliament, Mohammed Al-Halbouzi, called on the parliamentarians to attend a session of confidence in the government of designate Mustafa al-Kazimi. The President of the House of Representatives announced a voting session on the ministerial program and the government cabinet for Wednesday, May 6, 2020, 9 p.m. Iraqi time, which is 2 p.m. Eastern time. The United States is assuming a very urgent and significant need to form the government of Mr. Mustafa al-Kazemi. Okay, from Adam Montana, DJIA and S&P, gold, pretty much everything is up, including oil. And that is music to our ears. Over in Iraq, we have a still waters run deep situation. Do you remember all the ruckus that was in the news during the short durations of the previous prime ministers? I'm not hearing the same level of noise right now. Al-Kazemi, the current figurehead for the position, seems to just be on cruise control. He's zooming down on the political highway, and there doesn't seem to be much getting in his way. Of course, there is talk of disruption, but what's not being publicized is the actual progress, and there is plenty. They're actually really good. Things are actually really good. In spite of my current optimism, we're at a critical point. Things may turn in our favor quickly. And if they're going to turn right now, it's going to happen quickly, probably in the middle of our night, and without warning. They aren't going to give us much of a head start, so we wait patiently and vigilantly. Okay, from Foot Forward, it is my opinion the dong will go up in value. Question: hey, we'll take a VND rate over $1 all day. Back in the early 70s, it was over $2. Answer: I would love that, but I trust my sources from the info I have, and that isn't on the table. Same for the people expecting the dinar to be $16. That isn't on the table either. Okay, Delta from KTFA. Article quote: on Thursday, the House of Representatives voted to pass the government of Prime Minister Mustafa al-Kazemi. Al-Kazemi's government officially won the confidence of Parliament. And that's all for now. Thanks for tuning in.